Yes, hello everybody. We are now back again to now rant about double game week 25 because I can't remember what I was talking about, so I'm just going to restart everything again. Welcome everybody to the latest Elite FPL stream, where every single Saturday night reaction, myself and Ray will be talking about the Premier League action that's happened in the day. And all started this morning with an impromptu stream from myself, where last night we found out that there was going to be a double game week 25. We don't know who's going to be involved in the double game week 25 other than based on probabilities regarding bookmakers' odds on the Carabao Cup semi-finalists, who's going to go to the final, and then the likelihood of the teams that they'd be playing would then end up going into double game week 25. So it's looking likely, for instance, Aston Villa will be going and Liverpool into this double game week 25. Because of this, it meant that a lot of people were talking about using their assistant manager chip instead of triple captaincy. It threw a spanner in the works for myself and Ray's plans because we'd already done our free transfers and we didn't really want to be doing the assistant manager chip, let alone the triple captaincy chip. But we, as discussed this morning, kind of thought to ourselves, you know what, after doing the impromptu stream this morning about whether or not to do the assistant captaincy chip or not, me and Ray thought, to hell with it, we'll go with safety mode. We went through safety mode, and by copying Ben Krellin and Rich from FF Hub, we've done that now. We got David Moyes in, he got us 12 points or whatever it bloody was, and the double game week has turned out a lot worse than I expected. The two teams that doubled, obviously being Everton and Liverpool, I expected them both to win. I expected them to be in very tight games. It ended up being the complete, well, not necessarily the opposite for Liverpool because they were in a tough game, but I never in a million years expected Salah to come through with 2 goals and then Everton not only winning to 0, which believable. I predicted it. I'm sure Ray predicted it. But to win 4-0 and Ndiaye to come through with an 88th minute goal and Pickford to come through with an assist in the quickest ever goal scored in Premier League history. It is just a joke, Ray. Good evening, mate. How are you?
Like I spoke to you 10 minutes ago, yeah?
You were sucking my dick a bit. Oh, can't be saying that.
Can't be saying that.
Yeah, fuck me, Ray. I mean, literally, preferably, but I don't know where to start, Ray. Your thoughts so far on this, the Everton outcome, shall we say, and the fact that we've played the assistant manager chip.
Yeah, so a bit like yourself, I predicted a win to a clean sheet. I went 2-0. I thought, yep, brilliant, clean sheet. Moyes will get points. No issues at all. Just hang around hoping that if we do get a red, it won't be too big, maybe like 4, 5, 6%, or green the other way around. But worst of the worst happened. We had Ndiaye going out of nowhere after doing jack shit all game. Had a Pickford assists, you know. And then Salah just, I mean, we talk about him all the time, but you know, getting a double return as well, and not performing brilliantly at any point. But you know what? We all know what he can do, isn't it? He could just turn it on whenever it. At the fact that Moyes did well, it was almost worst case outcome for us today, playing the assistant manager chip on Everton. However, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 assets playing tomorrow. So I still have hope that we can save this game week, at least in regards to bringing it a bit closer. But yeah, I can't help myself but keep harping on the fact that, you know, I feel we're making good moves, the right moves. We took out Wood, it made sense. Okay, selfishly, it's brilliant for me with Telegraph because he got a hat-trick, but the fact that Nottingham Forest won 7-0, Stevo, for fuck's sake, it's absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? It's unbelievable what's happening at the moment and this season in regards to this team. But yeah, there's nothing more I can add to that.
I said it at the start of this season. I know I sound like a broken record, and for anybody that complain about it, fuck you. And I just find this season it's every single week the popular assets are coming through and you just can't make up any ground. Because, for instance, like you stated, last week we got rid of Chris Wood for Gakpo for this upcoming run for the double, well, Ipswich at the time, double, and then Wolves. Ironically, we got a hat-trick of returns from Gakpo last week. Brilliant! Then the following week, Gakpo gets an assist, but then that fucking piece of shit Chris Wood goes and cancels it all out for us anyway, specifically. And a hat-trick. You just look at this and you think, Brighton at home, I predicted a win. I predicted a tight game, 2-1. I didn't expect Brighton to be a rollover away from home. Brighton are actually pretty good. They get a lot of draws, a lot of 1-1s. Either way, I would thought they would have caused problems for Nottingham Forest. And once I saw it was 3-0, was it 3-0 at half time, Ray? And I'm thinking,
yeah.
Well, the damage is done. I mean, I can't imagine this ending any more than 4 at a push, maybe 4-1. Next time I look at my phone, Jesus fucking 7 and 3 hat trick for Chris Wood. I genuinely don't know what to say, Ray, because I just find it sickening how you come into this double game week thinking, you know what, 3 Liverpool assets. This is before double game week 25 and out. You come into double game week 24, right? Do we play the triple captaincy or not? That was just a decision. Now, you and me, ironically, said no, because we didn't like the fixtures. Thank fuck, in a way, this double game week 25 came into play, because it kind of forced our hand. Because me and you pretty much debated. You even spanned the wheel. It was, do we do triple captaincy or do we do assistant manager? Remind the audience, or tell the audience what the actual spin the wheel actually said for us to do.
Triple captain Salah.
Yeah, triple captain Salah. Now, me and you think that the safest play, and I still think we have gone through with the safest play, was to play the assistant manager. We could only get in David Moyes. We got in David Moyes. We got the win, and we moved forward with that. But I'm really, really hoping, Ray, that we do get this Aston Villa double game week, because at least that will fit into some kind of plan where next week, or whatever, 2 weeks' time, we can go, right, we're bringing in Emre, that's done. Probably bring in Rodgers, have a triple up of Aston Villa, and then we'll be all cushy. But surprise, surprise, Aston Villa go and blow it by losing 2-0 tonight. Ollie Watkins getting taken off at half time. I mean, I saw that and I was just like, just fuck off. Turn it all off. Listen to Wrestling Time Machine with Cy Powell and everything. Completely forgot. I would be honest with you, I completely forgot about that Aston Villa game. Watched the highlights of today's matches, and Mr. Reed, I saw it because I needed to message you, and then Mr. Reed messaged me saying, I can't believe the Aston Villa result. That's got to be a joke. I'm thinking, oh God, it can't be any more than 1-0. Like, I'm thinking, fucking hell, is this ending like 3 or 4? I look at it, it's 2-0. But it's the world of fantasy football is the most frustrating game I think anybody could play. And I find it ironic that I listen into Gary's videos, FPL Have a Beer, and they talk, him and Yelena and whoever talk about mental health and everything, and I like to vent. Really? You like to vent? I like to vent about this shit, but I sometimes, when I'm playing this game, I'm just rolling my eyes, that emoji of just rolling your eyes, just give me a... What is it, a Simpsons episode, Ray? Give me a break. I can't remember what episode it is, but somebody says, can you just give me a break? And that's what it feels like in this. It's just, give me a fucking break. And do you know what the worst thing is, Ray? With this shitty team, I'm going to deliberately put it up on screen so people can stare at the fucking screen at this shite team that we've got there. But what makes it even worse is that cunt Greaves. Oh, can't be saying the word cunt. Well, I can and I fucking will. That fucking cunt gets 1 point against Southampton for pity fucking sake. And that piece of shit Robinson on the bench has 4 in a win against pissing Newcastle. What the fuck's going on, Ray?
We said last week, but mostly we said it obviously with voice notes, that if you can't get a clean sheet at home to Southampton, then there's just no hope for you whatsoever. And that's what happened with Ipswich, and they deserve to lose. Another aspect as well with Robinson, he's just a bloody assist machine, Steve. What's that? 9 assists now that he's got this season? 8 or 9 assists? He's basically playing his way to suddenly move to a top team. I could just envisage him at like Liverpool or something like that, because Robinson's obviously lost a wheel or two, at least in regards to going through the gears. But yeah, I mean, today was just a shock of results. I think I got 3 correct results, not scores, but results, and everything else was just an absolute anomaly for me. Some real shockers all round. And assists, as Connor said. Thank you very much, sir. And yeah, I'm a bit like yourself. I was looking for the potential of the doubles next week, and yeah, just hoping Liverpool get the deed done, and then we can bring in Emery, and we've got Ipswich and Liverpool at home. 2 good fixtures in my opinion, at least for our attackers. Definitely bring in Rodgers and then go on from there. But what happened today was just an anomaly with fixtures, and then obviously with the FPL team as well. But I can understand, obviously, with your rant and stuff like this. And if I could just shout out Gary, because I did watch the episode of himself and Yelena, and you said to me you should watch it. And I watched it, and I know it was recorded on the 4th of Jan or something like that. And something that Yelena said, and both of them really appreciate the kind words. One thing she said is that the good thing is Ray can still enjoy the community aspect. You can still enjoy the positives of what it gives without having skin in the game, because we work so much on your team together. Not in regards to actual time, but more thinking when we voice note. And I'm not in front of the planner for like an hour. No, I'm literally like 4 or 5 minutes, and then I send it to you straight away. But no, it just takes me back to how fucking unbelievably frustrating this game is, because we've planned. We've said, let's roll transfers, we'll plan, I said, let's think about wildcarding 29, we'll probably get more of an idea of what the doubles will be in 33, 36, potentially others as well. This double game week comes out of nowhere, Steve-O, in regards to game week 25, we're like, oh fuck, now we've got to throw everything up in the air again. That famous meme that you just jump out the window and be like, yeah, I'm done. I've kind of felt that way, because I actually don't know what we can do next, because it's so difficult to plan at the moment. But yeah, I'm rambling.
A question that just came to mind while you were speaking then is, since playing Telegraph, have you now realised the simplicity of how easy it is, so to speak, to play Telegraph compared to FPL?
Yeah, 100%, because you can't really, you can't really be knee-jerk and reactive, and because there are no chips in the game, it simplifies everything so much. The real skill in the game is patience. That's the skill in the game, is patience. You get these. For example, there'll be a point where Man United will play 4 fixtures compared to Arsenal's 1 in a run.
Yeah.
Or acting on, okay, maybe I should get Dallo and take out Gabriel for that time. And obviously then you're just playing the fixtures game of the number. That's where the skill is your timing. The ultimate skill is patience and believing in your players, because I looked at the likes of bringing out Wood this week, and I'm like, but why? He plays. And I think I said to you, when your player plays, that's the first win. And, further information, look at Gary's pod he did with me on his channel. But cheap plug, Gary. But otherwise, that's what it is, like all these double game weeks. I'm like, oh, brilliant, in Telegraph, let me see if I can hop onto a Rodgers and take out Isak for that moment. Does that make sense, Steve-O? Because, there's no such thing as being knee-jerk in Telegraph, which I absolutely love. And it includes the FA Cup as well, Steve-O, so you actually have more games to play with.
I'll quickly come off screen for a second and just, like I said, show the audience what I've actually got. So, annoyingly, Trent telling Slot, take me off, mate. I felt something in my hamstring. So he probably may not be playing against Everton. Thank God we've got, give or take, a week or so, but it doesn't look good according to Snot. We've got Gabriel tomorrow. Well, I'm sorry to say, I swear, I'm expecting Man City to beat you tomorrow in a tight game, 2-1. Obviously, we've got Flecken in goal, Greaves, whatever. We have Ahmad, but I mean, all these players are what most have. Ahmad, Palmer, Salah, and Burmo tomorrow. Watkins with his poxy 1-pointer, Visser, and Gakpo. And then on the bench, as you can see here, we have David Moyes, and then whatever. And there's Robinson staring me in the face with his blasted 4 points. And I always ask this question. I say ask this question. We've already answered it, which is the shock result, Ray. What is it? Well, it has to be Nottingham Forest winning 7-0. It has to be. Winning? No. 7-0 though? Yes.
Yeah, I predicted 1-0. 1-0. So when they got the goal early on, I was like, yep, cool, okay. An own goal. Very ugly. And then suddenly, I don't know what was happening. I mean, every attack Nottingham Forest were having, they were scoring. They are a devastating counter-attacking team. We've known that all season. They're probably the best in the league. Actually, they are the best in the league. 3-0 half-time. And then the second half, Brighton were pretty much camped Nottingham Forest's last third, Steve-O. From like 15 to 60, 65 minutes, I was thinking, Jesus. You know, selfishly, I got Murillo, and I'm thinking, okay, come on. Eventually get some play going on, and then they would get his second goal, which made it the fourth, and then Brighton just completely shut down. It's the absolute shock of the day for me. Like you said, not the result, but just 7-0 is absolutely unbelievable. It's quite amazing, actually, because Nottingham Forest lost 5-0 last week, Steve-O. So, you know, I think we said last week that this is probably more kick up the arse that they need just to keep their feet on the ground. But it was a blip for me, and I think we agreed with each other. It's just a blip. They'll get back on the saddle again. And today, as brilliant as they were, Brighton were absolutely shocking and embarrassing. So, love to see it because I don't like the manager very much. But, yeah, I mean, Nottingham Forest are still highly owned assets, isn't it? A lot of people have someone like Aina, but like you said, the vast majority are still owning Wood. And once again, every time we take out a player, it seems like we're getting punished, aren't we? That's why I'm really worried about taking out Isak now, hilariously.
It's not, for me, again, I go back to it. It's not the fact we're getting punished, Ray. It's the fact that we've done a good move, but it just gets cancelled out in this specific case the following week, or even in that specific game week, it just gets cancelled out. And you just think, there's a reason why I took, in this specific case, Chris Wood. There's a reason why we took Chris Wood out, is because they've got a poor run of form. A poor run of fixtures. Now, yes, you can argue, well, Nottingham Forest are the form team at the moment. Chris Wood is in form. Yeah, I know that. But to get a hat-trick in the first game of this bad run is just absolutely laughable, especially when the week before we've deliberately got rid of him for Gakpo, who, yeah, he's returned this week with a, well, penalty for you, Ray. A very, 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 very tight, I think, call on that Gakpo trip, if you want to call it that.
But before we do, is there any way of getting the chat on the screen? A couple of people have requested it.
No disrespect, tough shit. It ain't happening. You're lucky we're even live streaming, so no is the simple answer. Gakpo's
like 30 minutes. Go ahead. Unfortunately, it was a penalty for me. No, when they kind of clip their own feet, it's usually because they've had some kind of contact at some point. And I've seen a couple of angles, and Cook did. He ran behind him, and he did kind of catch the trailing leg of Gakpo and made him fall down. So, unfortunately, as soft as it was contact. And this is coming from an Arsenal fan, obviously, but not that. I don't even know why I said that. That holds no fucking merit. But, you know, I'm being as unbiased as I can. And you know me well enough that I just see it how I see it. And in my opinion, it was a penalty. And to be honest with you, Steve, I was quite disappointed how Bournemouth played in the first half. I thought that they would try and get at Liverpool a little bit more. Look, Liverpool, best team in the country and possibly best team in Europe right now. And if they beat Everton, like I said to you, I think the title's completely over. Like I hold no thread of hope. But it's almost like when they went 1-0 down, then suddenly they let they kind of let the shackles go off. And they hit the post and they played well. And Clivert missed a difficult opportunity after, I couldn't tell you who hit the post, maybe Tavernier, but I think I'm wrong.
It was Tavernier, no, you are right.
And then he was okay. And then he missed the rebound. I was shocked. I couldn't believe I was so disappointed. And then Salah's goal, I thought, was absolutely brilliant. I don't think there's much you can do because it wasn't like he shifted onto his left foot with any real aggression. It was like a quick outstep and then curled it in the corner, and that was it. It was just job done. And Liverpool, in my opinion, put up a 6 out of 10 performance, Stevo. But this is what you do. You're not playing at your best, and you have devastation up front, don't you? And also, defensively, I still don't think they're that strong, but they're eking out the clean sheets, aren't they, Stevo? And this is what champions do.
I was listening to Mark Goldbridge. He was watching the game, and by all accounts, Bournemouth, within reason, put up a decent account. But I think you summarised it perfectly. This is a team of champions now. You're looking at players who know how to not only win matches but actually win trophies. And like you quite rightly stated, they're going to be up against Everton next, which will be a tough fixture. But look, we both expect them to get through. We've still got a week to go. It's on the 11th of February, for crying out loud. So we're all going to be more focusing, ironically, on the Carabao Cup semi-finals, in which I'm assuming you expect not to go through against Newcastle.
I don't. I mean, Newcastle are defending so poorly. It's actually hilarious how shit they're playing. At home to Arsenal, opportunity to get back into Wembley. I think they're going to be buoyed. I think they're going to be up for it. I just can't see us. I could see us winning the game, Stevo. Genuinely, I could see us winning like 2-1 or something. But no, I just don't think we'll overturn a 2-goal deficit, in my opinion. And, another day doesn't help in regards to, we're playing a day later and then we're travelling as well. And yeah, I just can't see it. In my opinion, I've given up on it. It'd be great if we do it. It will be our last game before we have a good 10 days off, which I think is so necessary. But I'll be honest with you, Steve, as important as it is that we beat Man City, I'm also focusing on, are we going to bring in an attacker? Because we are threadbare at the moment, my man. But yeah, I agree with you. All eyes are on the Carabao Cup to see which teams are doubling. And like yourself, I expect it to be Liverpool and Newcastle, respectively.
Why is the transfer window...
Aston Villa and Liverpool, respectively. Go ahead.
Why is the transfer window open so long?
It's until Monday, so I have no idea why it's then, because technically it should be tonight, isn't it? Because it's the 1st of February, so I couldn't even tell you. But I think it's all about just... Genuinely, I couldn't even tell you, Steve. I don't know. I think they want to take the distraction away from the Premier League, because if it was tonight or yesterday, the night before, around a Premier League games, but this is me just speaking gospel. I think a lot of teams have... waiting for the Saudi Arabia transfer market to close, Stevo, because all the money's in there, and I believe it closed last night. So I think we're going to see a lot of late business after tomorrow's game. I think a lot, where I feel one way or another we will get our transfer in one way or another.
Apparently, Marcus Rashford's going to be going Aston Villa.
Yeah, they're trying to loan him.
It's a loan, is it? It's a loan, is it?
Yeah.
I was hoping he'd be gone. I was hoping that, I've done what I needed to do here at Man United. Whatever's going on behind the scenes has gone on behind the scenes. I'm going to turn over a new leaf, clear off to Aston Villa, prove my worth of what I can do, and then see if I can try and get Aston Villa into the Champions League. Although I do think that the 2 spots that are up for grabs in 3rd and 4th, where I was going to ask, do you think Nottingham Forest are going to get there? But we'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, you've got Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, Newcastle, and a push Villa wanting to get that Champions League spot. But yeah, Nottingham Forest, do you think they have enough to stay in that Champions League spot, whether it's 3rd or 4th?
I'd love them to, but I can't see it because there's something, when it comes to, I guess, squeaky bum time, if we're going to quote Sir Alex, but say when it gets to the business thing, or when it comes to the business end of the season, that's where Nottingham Forest at home to Ipswich doesn't seem like the easiest game in the world. Does that make sense? Because now they've really got something to play for. It's really getting to the end of the season. And do I think Nottingham Forest will play European football next season? I truly hope so, Stevo. But, it takes one loss or a couple of draws here and there, and then the other teams are sucked back in, isn't it? Because I agree with you, Stevo. It does go all the way down to Aston Villa. I know 10 points is a big gap at the moment. But, again, it takes a win and a draw, a loss and a draw, and then if Villa get those wins, and Villa are capable of going on these runs, aren't they, Stevo? That if they do that, then potentially they're going to drag Nottingham Forest into the battle as well. So if you were to ask me right now, Ray, gun to your head, who do you think the top four are going to be? I think it would be Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, and I'm going to go with Chelsea simply because they have so much attacking talent, Stevo, that they'll themselves go on a half-decent run of form. I wanted to say Newcastle, but personally, I think Chelsea.
I was going to say, the competition that Chelsea are in Europe, if they win it, do they get into the Champions League next year?
No, they'll get into the Europa League because it's the Conference League.
So they don't... Okay. So they need to get into the Champions League places to get into the Champions League, basically. So, and what if...
It's probably going to be... I'm sorry, Steve. It's probably going to be top 5 this season. And therefore, I think Newcastle will qualify.
Why do you say top 5? Because you think one of the teams are going to win it?
Think about the coefficient. Yeah, if we perform well in Europe, which we are at the moment, we've got 3 teams into the last 16, and then we got Man City in the last 32 of the Champions League, and most of our teams have qualified in the other European competitions as well. Is that if we keep on performing well, which we are, then they're going to make it 5 teams.
I have a feeling that Newcastle may actually end up 4th. I think that apart from their loss today, which I don't know where the hell that came from, but again, that's a shock result. For them winning, drawing, I wouldn't be like, oh, but winning, because Newcastle are just so good at home. But certainly that's a bit of a blip. But overall, Newcastle have been in really, really good form, as you know. Chelsea, on the other hand, kind of all over the place, isn't it? In a way, in the sense of you expect them to win, they draw. You expect them to win, they lose. And I think Chelsea could be slipping away. I mean, I can't go on the table at the moment. I don't know if you're in front of the table right now.
I am, yeah.
But what is the points in it at the moment between Chelsea, Newcastle, and Nottingham Forest and Villa? What is it?
And Arsenal, because Forest are on the same amount of points as us. So
right.
Arsenal on 47, Forest are on 47, Man City 41, Newcastle 41, Chelsea on 40, Bournemouth on 40, Villa on 37, and Fulham on 36, excuse me. So it's a fair gap, per se, between Aston Villa with 37 points, Arsenal with 47 points. Unless you're Liverpool, Steve-O, no one is reliably consistent to a point where you feel like they can break away. If I'm making sense there. I don't think suddenly, even Man City, whatever happens tomorrow, I don't suddenly think, oh, Man City are back, they're going to win like 6 out of the next 7 games, because they've been struggling. They're getting the wins, but they're struggling on the pitch quite a bit, and they got Real Madrid in that last 30 games, so obviously going to start thinking about that.
I think tomorrow's match against you guys, if they win, which I sadly expect them to do so, and I mean just, they win, I think at this point it's like, oh, great. Man City are now going to do what they always do in the second half of every single season, which is go on and win basically they don't lose a single game. However, you get a point, or more preferably a win. At this point it's, oh, actually, Man City are this old dog, which is just, I'm too tired to go out for walks anymore. I can't be bothered. Just let me sleep and pass away peacefully. That's what it feels like with Man City. Now, yes, I know they've lost Rodri. I get that. And whether he was fit or not this season, we don't know how well they would have performed. We never will know how they perform. But certainly from Man City's perspective, if they do get that win tomorrow, I think it's going to put the wind in the sails and they're just going to just fly on through. I'm hoping that's not going to happen. I mean, what are you expecting in that game, Ray?
Yeah, I went with a 2-1 win. I don't think it's going to be beautiful football or anything like that. I was laughing about that as well, Roberto. I do. I think if we come out and get at them, because I generally feel at this current time, shouldn't fear them as much as we did in the past, Steve, very much, because I think your analogy, like Roberto said here, I think you saying old dog's amazing. They are old, they are struggling, they're nowhere near as electrifying anymore. You age, you can age in a summer per se, but also won absolutely everything, isn't it? Walker goes to Milan on loan just like that, so they're probably in their next phase of rebuilding with the likes of Marmoush being signed, for example, who's very exciting, very electrifying. I personally feel that that if we get on the ascendancy and play the kind of football that I know we can, then I do actually think that we will beat this Manchester City side. But a bit like yourself, I think there'll only be one goal in it. I do actually think there's going to be a winner, Stevo, because we can't really afford to draw if we have any dwindling hopes of catching Liverpool. And I think Man City really want to win as well, because they close the gap to us to 3 points. So I think it's an exciting scenario, though I don't think the game's going to be brilliant, because our games barely are, isn't it? Because we usually cancel each other out.
Just got my team up on screen for a split second. And how are you just feeling about this team for now? Just for now. How are you feeling about it with the fact that we've still got Fleck and Gabriel and Burmo, Palmer, Ahmad, Visser, and obviously the 3 double game weekers if Trent Alexander-Arnold plays, plus we've got Moyes, and then we move into double game week 25 with still the assistant manager. Do you think that this week it's just take whatever hit we've had on the chin with the Nottingham Forest assets doing really, really well, the fact that, look, triple captaincy Salah so far has come through really, really well. Yeah, how are you at this stage with this team?
Yeah, leave the team on screen, Sibo, but okay. I genuinely feel like it's still in a great spot. I mean, a lot is now riding on the Brentford assets, isn't it, with Visser and Mbumo? But a bit like yourself, I expect them to score a minimum of 2 goals. I expect both Mbumo and Visser to hopefully be involved in those returns as well. Going forward, I think it builds really well, because it's still got very powerful chips going forward. In game week 25, well, of course, we got the assistant manager, but we've still got the triple captain. Game week 33 could be a fantastic time to use it. Liverpool have Leicester away, and then they'll have another game, if they double at that time. And then game week 36, for example, a bench boost, so there's still a lot that we can do. So I'm still really happy with how the squad looks. Genuinely, I'm really happy with how it looks to set us up until, we're starting to get into the game week 29, game week 30, start to do the refresh that, I've been advocating to you quite a lot of using the wild card. But otherwise, yeah, I think it looks really good. If we were able to ignore rank somehow, I think it's a team that will eventually start to bear fruit. So
you're sounding.
We're not even in a position to really panic now.
You're sounding a bit like Vincent Kompany with our relegations. Well, our only season with Vincent Kompany with Burnley, and how every single week it was the same thing. I think if we just stick to the way we're going, we're going to do all right. Then we lose a game. No, don't worry. The plan is there. We're going to do all right. Lose another game. No, don't worry. I know we're in the relegation zone. We're going to stick to the plan. Still losing. It's the same with us. It's just every week we're going to stick to the plan. Red arrow. Still going to another red arrow. Yep. Don't worry, Steve-O. We're going to another red arrow.
So Steve-O, your Bayern Munich will be leaving FPL and coming to Telegraph. That's basically what you're saying.
I've just seen Alf here, and he said, "Are there any?" I don't know what the reference point is. He says, "Is there any girls here?" Well, the fact that I've just told the majority of people to fuck off, because I can't be, because they're lucky that we're either. I don't think a woman is going to want to come along to listen into this absolute twaddle. I mean, talking of women, and the fact that we have got a thumbnail that's dedicated to the Royal Rumble again. Thank you to Alex Volo for the excellent thumbnail. I just said to him, look, can you just make Ray as CM Punk and me as Seth Rollins? Because obviously tonight it is the Royal Rumble 2025. And whether you're aware or not, because WWE is now on Netflix, casual fans like me now consume wrestling on a weekly basis. What I mean by that is that I go on Raw, skip through until I see something that interests me. I watch it and go, can't suspend my disbelief. I.e., like with Gunther and who's his rivalry with Gunther? Jey Uso. I just roll my eyes. I think I can't buy into this. Skip through that. Get to Seth Rollins and whoever his thing is with Drew McIntyre. Yeah, it's all right. It's okay. I can watch it within reason. And then when I get to this is specifically this week's Raw, building up to Royal Rumble. When I get to Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, I'm like, this is just so shit. But Royal Rumble, Ray, in my opinion, is probably there's no probably. It is my favourite pay-per-view.
Yes, Sivo, I absolutely adore Royal Rumble because of the Royal Rumble match. Obviously, I've been watching a lot the last couple of weeks, just pretty much from old ones all the way to the latest ones, all the way to some of my favourite ones, and also it's WrestleMania is ultimately my favourite pay-per-view because I just love the matches that are on there. Normally, they're just such superb matches. And it's kind of like the ending of the feud, isn't it? So if you're bought into it, like, I am with the Bloodline, for example, then it's phenomenal. Like Cody Rhodes finally finishing the story. But when it comes to the actual Royal Rumble match, cheap plug. Stevo and I have done some Vince McMahon episodes, and we both said that we love to be marks. We love that moment where suddenly you get a surprise winner or a surprise entrant or something like that. And this year I'm really excited because I genuinely think there are like 4 or 5 people that could win it. I've predicted Cena and CM Punk will be the final 2, and then I think CM Punk will win. I think he'll then go on to main event WrestleMania for the title, but I do feel it could be something like a triple threat somehow with like Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, and I think Cena will go for the championship against Gunther and win it. But one more thing, if that's okay, is my kids are getting really into it as well. That I said, why don't we do a draft, like a number draft? So, for example, if number 25 wins or something like that, then, Daddy will buy him a gift and stuff like that. And they're really into it now. So tomorrow morning we're going to watch both the women's and men's Royal Rumble and see whose numbers win. And, we all got like 7, 8 numbers. But
that's
sorry
a
to bore you there.
That's a really nice idea because like I said, I'm avoiding spoilers. I won't be going on X at all tomorrow, and thankfully I'm at work. I say thankfully. Ironically, it would mean then I could watch the Royal Rumble in the morning, but whatever. So I'm gonna watch it in the evening, avoiding all spoilers. And you don't think Roman Reigns is going to win this Royal Rumble despite the fact he's in it? What do you think will happen with him then?
Perhaps some kind of rock, maybe some kind of interruption or something like that, but not because I think he's going to enter the Royal Rumble and they're actually going to have a match. I don't think they're going to have a match. But I just think Roman Reigns could get screwed here. Or could have some kind of weird photo finish, if that makes sense. Remember when Big Show and the Rock got knocked out at the same time, and then they put him into a fatal 4-way or something like that. I think some shenanigans could happen. That's what I'm trying to say. And I love Roman Reigns, obviously what he is now compared to what he used to be. But yeah, I think Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns 3 years in a row after Roman Reigns has been in the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania main event like 7 out of the last 9 years, or something pathetic like that, Steve-O. I really would love a Cody Rhodes CM Punk main event. I think it would be an incredible match, personally.
It was 10 years ago that Roman Reigns won that first Royal Rumble, and when The Rock came out, and he was like, basically, why is everybody booing this guy? Yeah. You know what Triple H is like with these storytelling moments? It could be, as you stated, The Rock screwing. I don't think it will happen, but The Rock screwing over Roman Reigns as a kind of like a reverse of what happened back in 2015. And I mean, funny enough, I was trying my hardest, and it is fucking difficult watching the 1994 Royal Rumble. The only reason why I was watching it is because Bang Bang Andy, he's going to be reviewing. He reviewed 93, and then the next podcast he's doing is 1994. And I thought, right, do you know what? I'm just going to watch it just to kind of give me an idea of what they're actually watching. Jesus Christ. Watching the match before the Royal Rumble involving Yokozuna versus The Undertaker, I just skipped through it. I couldn't deal with it. It's just so...
Gary would struggle to watch it.
Yeah, terrible. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong, from a story perspective, again, I could buy into it. I'm a complete mark. I can genuinely buy into the whole thing of like the urn was broken, and then Vince McMahon's going, my God, that must be the spirits releasing away which can't help the Undertaker win. And I bought into it. I'm a 40-year-old man still buying into some green smoke pouring out of a fucking urn, for Christ's sake. But I buy into it. But it's just how cheap and nasty the actual matches look. And it's why I'm looking forward to our coverage of the Attitude Era with Cy Powell, because what I loved about that particular era was at least the wrestling, if you want to call it that, or more specifically the brawling. It actually felt real, Ray. It felt like there was something that mattered with the likes of Austin Michaels and Rock and Austin and McMahon and Undertaker, Kane, Mankind. It felt something real. And this was only, 4 years prior? Royal Rumble 1994. 4 years later, you've got basically pretty much getting towards the peak of the Attitude Era.
Yeah, I think another thing is that, you know, we spoke about it again. I'm gonna have to link the McMahon episode, the McMahon documentary episodes we've been doing. Also, there were so many storylines that were being covered, isn't it, Steve-O, during that Attitude Era? So the matches are really bad, actually. Like you said, I remember you saying to me, Ray, you gotta watch some of these matches again. They're so bad. I'm like, no, I can't, because it's going to ruin, you know, the novelty that I have for that time. But because they invested so much time into the actual storytelling, when they had these brawls, you're really enthralled into it. And obviously 94 and 98, where technology went in regards to stuff like AOL and the internet, is incredible, isn't it? Like AOL, I think, was around that time as well. You know, with the old readme modem that used to make all these noises as well. Half our audience has no idea what that is. But basically, it invested us to the point where we got into it and we started to go, yeah, kill him! Fucking kill him! So, and it's just gone on from there, really. But however, when there's a breaking of kayfabe, it really angers me, you know? Like I was telling you the story about Kevin Owens and Randy Orton hanging out together by the Lamborghini, and
hold on.
A week earlier, Randy... Go on.
We had the more recent one with that idiot The Rock coming out and going, hey, Cody.
Oh, my God.
I'm your best mate now.
Man.
What?
Hey, have some Terramana fucking shitty tequila, yeah?
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Ray, do you have any I'm sure, in fact, we will cover it with Cy, but do you have any explanation as to what the fuck was going on, other than the first night of Raw being, come on everybody, everybody's watching us, so we got to get in all these legends in, and me, I'm The Rock, I'm representing, everybody knows who The Rock is, so I've got to be really friendly. That really pissed me off, to be honest with you, Ray. It was embarrassing.
You know, when he actually came out, which I expected him to, I was like, oh my God, what's he going to say? The way he left was so good. You know, it's like, Cody, I'm coming for you. And then obviously, I think at Bad Blood, after Cody teamed up with Roman Reigns against the New Bloodline or something like that, he came out and did the whole signal and the throat slit. I'm like, oh my God, what's he going to say? But it's like, that was Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, hey guys, it's so good to be here. Netflix, oh, we've broken a new record. I'm like, oh, go fuck yourself, Dwayne Johnson. I hate Dwayne Johnson, the person. I love The Rock, the character. And then suddenly, it's all, oh, I like to praise Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes is laughing in the crowd. I'm like, come on, man, this is bullshit. And then they have a drink together, and I'm like, well, now what are you going to do? And then he acknowledges Roman Reigns. You know, at the end of the match, he put the Ulufala on him. I'm like, give him a rock bottom, do something. But he didn't do it, so it's just moving forward. And now if The Rock suddenly returns, he'd be like, oh, you jabronis, you know, you couldn't smell what I was cooking, all this kind of stuff. I'm like, well, what was that 2 weeks ago? But I think he just came out as corporate Dwayne Johnson to basically say, hey, we're on Netflix, I'm the biggest star in the world, which we are, you know. And I think it's just to bring in the casual fans. But a lot of, I guess, hardcores like myself, and maybe even with you, it's starting to happen again for you, I think. Is that we're like, what the fuck is this? This isn't what was supposed to happen. But it brought in a fuckload of casuals, Steve, I'll tell you that.
Oh, I'm fully aware that at the moment WWE is. I don't know the exact figures, but I know that WWE, by all accounts, is doing pretty well on Netflix at the moment. Again, I don't know the exact figures or anything, but for me, with Royal Rumble tonight, I'm just hoping that tomorrow, because what I'm going to do is I'm definitely going to watch. It's a ladder match, isn't it, between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens? That's a definite that I'll watch. The other matches, I don't particularly give a shit about. The Royal Rumble between the women, even though I think Rhea Ripley is just fucking phenomenal. What an absolutely phenomenal looking woman. Absolutely stunning. And I think to myself, right, I buy into her rivalry with, what's her face, Nia Jax. I genuinely do buy into it. I think it's really, really quite an interesting rivalry that's going on there, and I do buy into it. But unfortunately, Royal Rumble for women, the fact that they have to go through the middle rope, I'm just like, really? I know some of them are like...
Steve-O, they removed that about 2 years ago.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
No, I genuinely didn't know that. Okay, fair enough. Well, they've removed that then. Right, okay, that's all right then. That's okay. Maybe I'll watch it then, to be honest with you. But then, so I'll probably give that a go. And then obviously we'll go on to the men's Royal Rumble, in which you think CM Punk's going to win. I have a feeling it's probably going to be Seth Rollins, maybe. Because usually you can kind of see how these storylines kind of go. And it's just the way that Seth Rollins is being built up at the moment. And there's just some of the few things that he says where a lot of the time in history when they say, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble, I think, sometimes that's a clue. I just think CM Punk's...
When Hurricane Helm said, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble, that didn't sway you, no?
Well, I did like the bit with Kevin Owens saying that he's going to try and help Sami Zayn. That was quite interesting. But again, I don't think you got to think like who's going to headline WrestleMania. Well, we know Cody is going to be Cody Rhodes. It's obvious. And then who's he going to be facing? Well, like you state, there's only going to be a few people that are worthy of that top spot if you don't include Roman Reigns. CM Punk, yeah, it's not going to be John Cena. John Cena is just going to be a novelty act at WrestleMania. Whatever match he has, it's just going to be a novelty. You then have Seth Rollins, who's obviously, of course, a very viable, and Drew McIntyre's another one as well, a viable. But who else is there? Apart from the ones I've just mentioned that are realistically going to be headlining WrestleMania. There isn't.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the final four are going to be Cena, Reigns, Rollins, and CM Punk.
Yes.
Because they're all intertwined in one way or another. Like, CM Punk has had massive rivalries with all three of them, actually. Yep. So he still holds a stick there. But I'm so sure Cena and CM Punk will be the final two, even though I would love it to be Reigns and CM Punk, because I genuinely, I find them both incredible characters, and I think it just works. But just all points, in my opinion, to CM Punk finally main eventing a WrestleMania, Stevo. And I think it's the perfect time because he's so hot at the moment, and in the ring he's always been top 10 that I've ever seen in my life. Legit, I think he's amazing in the ring and the character's brilliant. And obviously just the music itself gets me hyped, but in all honesty, I just find him versus Cody at WrestleMania will be incredible for two reasons. A, what a great match, and B, what in a spit in the face to AEW, because 3 years ago they were both at the company.
Yeah. Well, it'd be interesting to see if in the next 5 years' time if AEW even exists. But just quickly going back to FPL for 2 seconds. And you think that tomorrow we could be coming out of this weekend doing all right?
I think so, Steve. I've unfortunately kind of accepted that I think it will be a red-ish, but
yeah,
I do expect Brentford to actually... I've actually predicted 3-1.
What are your predictions for tomorrow's game? Let's hear it. So, Man United are home to Crystal Palace. What's your prediction for that?
I've gone 2-1, Man United.
That's interesting. I think I went with a draw. I think because Crystal Palace are actually pretty good away from home, and Man United are pants. It was either 1-1 or 2-1 Man United. I can't remember. I initially put 2-1 Crystal Palace, but as I always do, the bias towards the fact that they're Old Trafford, which means fuck all at the moment.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Yeah, and then
because we're from a time where Man United were absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah,
I can never kind of, if you like, drain that kind of feeling of fortress in regards to Old Trafford from what they used to be, isn't it? I just can never remove it from my system. It's just who I am as a 40-year-old man. But I'm going to go 2-1 Man United because I do expect at some point they will win a game at home against a half-decent team, and I think Palace could be that team. Moving on.
I was just going to quickly add to that.
Sorry.
Don't you find it funny how, and I was thinking this yesterday, so I work with a 21-year-old lad, and he was just talking to me yesterday about whatever, and I said to him the line, the thing is though, is that in 2004 when you were born, I was your age now. 20, 21, whatever, same difference. And going on what you just said about Man United, so by the time this lad was getting into football by say 6 or 7, the teams that you usually start supporting are usually the big teams. At that time, it would have been Chelsea, give or take.
The Arsenal, Man United.
Yeah. But Man United was very slowly coming towards an end, and then we get into the David Moyes, Mourinho, whoever else was next after that, and you are right. Oh, Louis van Gaal, yeah, him as well. You are right though that there are people that are like 18, 19 years old that see Man United like I see someone like Crystal Palace or Fulham.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, funnily enough, there are literally minimum 9 teams that are better than Man United, isn't it, Stevo? Yeah. They really are. Yeah. Better way of playing, better managers, maybe. Also, just a better way of playing as well. I think I already said that, but just the players themselves are better. Like if I put down a best Man United 11, I'm like, I could probably go into every single Premier League team and think a minimum 3 or 4 players from that team could get into this Man United 11.
Yeah.
So, but I still think, honestly, I was pretty sure that I think Man United are going to win this game 2-1, and at least in regards to the FPL team, we need something from Ahmad, who is everything right now, at least in regards to returns. And if we go look at my Telegraph team, I'm going Bruno Fernandes, Steve.
And Brentford Spurs, you're thinking Brentford to win?
I'm actually going pretty comfortably, Steve. I've gone for 3-1.
Oh, wow.
I think Brentford are literally going to attack straight away. I'd just be like, you're shit. You have no defenders. You don't know how to defend anyway. So when everyone's
That's
saying
what we hope.
Romero, yeah, no, I actually expect it.
Oh, right,
I
okay, you're
genuinely
expecting
expect
it.
it. Spurs will have a lot of the play. They'll have a lot of possession, but even with Van der Ven and all their defenders, they don't know how to defend Sivo. So, yeah, this was actually one of the results I was most confident about this weekend. Is that I think Brentford will win by 2 goals or more. So I'm thinking Mbeumo will definitely get a penalty in there, and I think Vissa will get a goal as well. So yeah. What about you? What have you gone for?
I think I went with 2. Mate, half my Super Brew predictions are just 2-1 because I
went 2-1.
I just find that the games are just so close to call. Like I called today Ipswich Southampton 1-1. I just didn't see Ipswich keeping a clean sheet. I didn't expect Southampton to keep a clean sheet. But I didn't expect either one to win either because they're just so fucking shit. It's like that discussion we briefly had today on, well, not you, but you know what I mean, with Firetog and him targeting these relegation teams. And I said, don't target them at the end of the season. The reason why they're, well, someone in the chat made the point, but it's just agreeing with me, which is the reason why they're in the relegation fight is because they're crap and they're not going to get out of it. And whatever you may think, you're better off putting on teams that have got something to fight for higher up the table. And that's why I think coming out of this conversation that I've had with you, and these are therapy sessions for me, just to kind of get my thought process off my chest with a mate. And I think coming out of this with hindsight, in fact, I'll ask you the question. So I'll give you my answer. I think with hindsight now, I wish we just did triple captaincy and then probably assistant manager in game week 25 or maybe later. Ray, what about you?
No, because it was so in the air to a point where I had to do a randomizer Stevo with the wheel. I'm just like, look, just got fucking unlucky. But I don't know how to really answer that because Moyes did return, but it was more like everything around it just went to shits, didn't it? And
I think as I stated with you personally on voice message, is the fact that with double game week 25, we've got guaranteed information. At the moment, we don't know anything. We're just going on probabilities, and I think that's the worst thing. And I think sometimes, I think Gary says it, I know Al says it, it's if you've got the power of information, it's going to work in your favour more than just guessing. And I think, I don't know, for instance, Firetog, he didn't play any chips this week. He's done very well this week. I don't know if Firetog's thinking, oh damn, I've made a cock up here by not playing my triple captaincy. Not necessarily assistant manager, but certainly the triple captaincy. I don't know what he's thinking. But he's done well coming out of this game week the way he has done, like really well without playing a chip. And yeah, from my perspective with hindsight, I think if we had just done the triple captaincy on Salah and just kept that assistant manager chip for more information, I think it probably would have worked in our favour. Ray, have you got any final thoughts about today?
No, nothing really. I mean, more obviously the Arsenal game is going to be very stressful for multiple reasons. But I'm also very much looking forward to Royal Rumble, Sivo, which I'll be watching tomorrow morning. And a bit like yourself, I'm literally just going to have the phone to the side until I watch all those matches, because how it is, there's spoilers all over the place. But otherwise, yeah, we got there at the end, Stevo. We were able to stream at the end, and obviously appreciate everyone that's joined. But nothing else. As always, it's good to talk and just chat shit, yeah?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Like I said, we had some really annoying technical issues. I'm going to have to speak to Jason about what the hell's going on. But that aside, we got through the live stream. It's sorted. It's done. As ever, thanks for tuning in live. I'm going to play a game with you, Ray. So Jason sent me a message. He just sent me a screenshot. Now I know this anyway. how many across the last 28 days, how many subscribers have we gained in 28 days? A net total, how many have we gained in 28 days?
Net total. I'm going to go with 15.
In 28 days, you think we've had 15 subscribers?
Yes. Net gain, yes.
Yeah, you're wrong. It's -1. So, if anybody does enjoy the... yeah, and Gary always wonders, I wonder, why is it that your channel just stays the same? Because no one subscribes to us, Gary. If you do enjoy the content that myself, Ray and Jason bring
no
you
one
on
leaves. No one leaves and no one comes, if it makes sense.
On a regular basis. It'd be great if you would just like to subscribe. If not, just by all means hit the like button. If you want to leave feedback, by all means, there's a comment section below the video. Just put a comment in there so I can just go thumbs up. In the most
patronizing.
You know, sometimes it will literally give you
for your comment.
It will literally give you a reply algorithm, or more specifically a generated reply, and sometimes with some of the comments I just go, yeah, whatever, done. Yeah, it's tragic, isn't it? What a world of YouTube. Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it? And Gary wonders
Steven. Oh,
hey?
I really enjoyed the stream, guys. Thanks a lot. Steven's just like, yeah, thanks for tuning in.
This is the thing, like, me and Gary, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but me and Gary were talking about the YouTube world and whatnot, and I just said to him, you're fighting against an algorithm. It's a fact. Once you start fighting against algorithms in the world of YouTube, you're fucked. I was listening to one of my favourite podcasts. It has nothing to do with football. It has nothing to do with anything other than a download festival or music or heavy metal in general. And one of the guys was talking about the fact that he does vlogs, but because he hasn't been vlogging for a while, he's noticed that his subscriber counts has been going right down, and he's done really well to get to where it was, and then it's just been going down. Because, like we all know, the way YouTube works is it's just, you've got to be fucking putting out content left, right and centre, making sure that you do what the algorithm wants you to do. Alf can attest to this. Gary can attest to this as brand new channels. It is fucking hard to get brand new viewers to just go, yeah, I like this content actually. I come here every week, I'll subscribe. It's just madness. But anyway, yeah, like I say, if you do watch us on a regular basis and you're not subscribed, tell us why you're not subscribed. Leave that in the feedback. That'd be great. Other than that, make sure you're hitting the like button, and yeah, if you want to support us on Patreon for free, just hit in fact, there we are. You can just press a button on Patreon. It says join free as a member. Yep, all right. You may occasionally get some free podcasts if you however, if you are a $4.99 member, you do get personalised podcasts about the UK death penalties, midlife males in their midlife crisis era of potentially committing suicide. What else is there that we speak about, Ray? Prostitution,
Bonnie Blue.
Oh no, I haven't saved that for Patreon yet. That's specifically for Total Steve though. But
$6.99.
Yeah, it'd be more than that. That'd be like $9.99 for that content.
Well, Steve, I have to challenge you. How dare you think that people will download a Patreon app, finally FPL, and press the subscribe button?
Mr. Reed,
are you having a laugh? As you'd say, stop saying that.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Reed struggled, and he's a friend, so
brother.
He's one of my closest friends, and even he struggles to press. Shall I join as a member? I don't know. That's a friend. See you later, everybody. Cheers, Ray.
Bye, friend.
Oh, friend. Oh, FPL friend. Oh, he's doing the thumbs up.
Oh, my good friend. Oh, Steve-o, you guys have great chemistry, man.